presenters for 40 years. 40 years. The Cassimys have ministered on the 6 continents of the world and have been a source of enrichment to thousands of couples and families. Marilyn is now a retired nurse, having given nurture and care to her patients for over 47 years. Dr. Cassimy has been a pastor and departmental director for the past 43 years. Actually, most of his ministry running parallel with pastoring. They are members of the Adventist Association of Family Life Professionals, and they have lived in Toronto, Alberta, and Montreal, Canada, Michigan, and New York City for these many years. It is a joy to have them tonight. And I would like to remind everyone, apart from the presenters, make sure at the point you keep your mics closed if you're not speaking. And then if you have questions during the presentation, he's willing to facilitate your questions. If not, you can write your question in the chat and we will try to observe them. And at the end, he's going to give you extra time for the presentation. The recording is on, so on the YouTube channel, some people are maybe watching on YouTube, Dr. Cassimy and Mrs. Cassimy, just want you to know that. So you may not see their faces, but they are listening to you. God bless you. It's over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Kennedy, for that warm introduction. We appreciate you. We have known you both for many years. Over the years, we have known you and been to your home, slept in your bed, ate your food, drove your car, borrowed your money that I haven't repaid.
I don't know.
I thought the commandment said, "Thou shalt not lie, bro."
No, this is not lying. This is confession. But it's good. It's good to be with you. It's always good to be with you. We share some mutual family. We share some mutual friends.
Yes.
We share mutual interests and ministry together.
Yes, sir.
And so we thank God for you both, and we thank God for all those who are on. Some of my favorite people in the Adventist Church from Co-op City are on the line, and so we thank God for them.
Yes.
I'm blessed. Marilyn and I are blessed to have someone who helps us with IT. Laverne, are you on?
Yes, Pastor, I'm here.
And everything is ready?
Yes.
Wonderful. There she is, one of the prettiest ladies at Co-op City. Let's smile, Laverne, smile for them to see a nice white teeth. Amen, 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 amen. All right. There is so much that could be said. There's so much that could be said tonight. But since it's Friday night, we are not going to be long. We want to end by 8:30. We want to end everything by 8:30, and we will let Dr. Kennedy make some kind of decision later on as to what we do with the rest of the presentation if we don't get it all. But that's for something. But it's Friday night, and I think we should end by 8:30 so that everybody can be ready for Sabbath, for church tomorrow. There is so much that could be said about healthy marriages and healthy couples. So much that could be said. So much research that's done. I had a stack of stuff that we could have looked at. But I was reading an article by Angel Chernoff, and it is from this article that we want to share with you 20 habits of a healthy couple. 20 habits of a healthy couple. You may want to write them down. As many as we are giving you, you may want to write them down, or Dr. Kennedy may want to suggest something later on. But we want to talk about 20 habits of a healthy couple. All right. And so we will give you each one as we go along. There's some things, as Dr. Kennedy said, if you have a question that's burning that you can't wait until the end, Dr. Kennedy will stop me and mention that there is a question and we will try and answer. Okay, we're ready to go. So let's look at the first one, Marilyn. What's the first healthy habit of what would you say of a couple?
Number one, they practice self-care as individuals.
Okay, when we say they practice self-care as individuals, what would you say?
Relationships don't create joy, they reflect joy.
Okay, so are we saying that part of self-care is having joy?
Yes, it is.
And part of self-care is reflecting joy.
Yes.
Because if you don't have good self-care, you cannot be joyful.
That's right.
Okay, all right.
And as opposed to happiness, joy is part of the fruit of the Spirit.
So good self-care doesn't necessarily have to be a person who is happy, because happiness comes from things.
That's right.
But we usually say joy comes from inside.
Inside of you, that's right.
Right. Joy is part of the fruit of the Spirit. And if we're going to take care of ourselves, we need to be joyful.
That's right.
Not happy full, but joyful.
That's right.
And we will know when we are joyful because we will have what?
Joy.
Joy. And that is part of the fruit of the Spirit.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so we're talking about the fruit of the Spirit. We all know what the fruit of the Spirit is, and we all know that joy is the second aspect of it. Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, meekness, faith, temperance, hope. And so we know that joy is part of the fruit of the Spirit.
That's
all right?
So thus the first step to have a healthy relationship with your spouse is to have a healthy relationship with yourself.
Okay, yes. Why are we saying that is important? To have a healthy relationship with yourself first. If I don't love myself.
What you don't have.
Yes.
That's
yes.
right. If you do not have it,
Okay.
then you cannot give it.
Mhm.
So I cannot give what I do not have.
Mhm.
So if I do not have love, if I do not have joy, then I cannot give it to my spouse.
Mhm.
It's like we talk about, if I do not have, sorry, go ahead, I have something in my throat.
Yeah, it's the
Sorry.
don't maybe need a little rare nephew or something. Just a little touch.
Okay.
Dr. Kennedy has some.
I'm saying, sorry.
You know,
If I do not have 3, then I cannot give you 6.
Right, is the Acts 3:6 principle.
That's right.
And you know what the Acts 3:6 principle is? Peter and John were going to the temple to pray, and the man was begging, and he said, he asked for donation. And Peter said, silver and gold we don't have. We don't have what you're looking for, but what we have, we could give to you. If I have 3, I cannot give 6. But if I have 6, I can give 3. And in a lot of our relationships, we have a lot of spouses who suck dry their spouses because they're just like amoebas. They're just taking, they're like sponges. They're just taking out and draining, and they have nothing to give. And so there's one spouse that's constantly giving all the time, giving, and the other one is just taking. And that is not good practice for self-care as individuals. All right? Anything else we wanted to say on number 1? We're good with that, number 1. All right, let's go to number 2. Okay.
They stand together and refuse to let outsiders in.
Yes. There's some couples who come with baggage. They come, the daughter may come with her sister, the husband may come with his mother, and there's not a lot of room in the couple for growth because there's so many other people involved in the relationship. outsiders, we call them.
And if you have an issue, you have to work it out first. And
That was her timing. It's done. No, it's one time.
Please remember to mute
Yeah.
your phones. Please mute your phones. We're hearing you.
Yeah. So we were saying we cannot let outsiders in because room for growth is so small. The Bible doesn't call for three. The Bible calls for three people in a marriage, but it's a husband, wife, and Jesus, not husband, wife, and mother, or husband, wife, and friend. No. It's the three. You, me, and Jesus.
that's right.
Anybody else starts coming in, space starts getting too small, and there's going to be problems. There's going to be problems. But you know, because you remember the other day we had that seminar, we were talking about some people who their spouse is not the nearest and dearest person in their lives to them, and they live and they have a marriage and all that sort of stuff. And I remember I said to somebody when they asked the question, I know if Bertha and Jonas remembered, but we said, you're not married to your cousin or to your mother or to your father. You're married to me. And it's both of us that the Lord joined together in holy wedlock. And if there is somebody else in your life or my life who is closer to me than you are, I should have married that person.
But if you do have an issue and you try to work it out, and the two of you cannot work it out, and if you don't bring somebody else into your marriage to try and work it out for you. If you cannot work it out and you need outside help, then you should have a joint agreement to seek professional help.
Right.
Not one person decides I'm going to get professional help without consulting the other spouse. It has to be a joint agreement that we're going to seek professional help.
Right.
But again, then you're creating a problem. Well, okay, I decide, okay, we're having an issue. I am going to go and seek professional help without discussing it with Steve first. It has to be a joint agreement. You should sit down and say, okay, we can't resolve this issue. We need professional help. But not one spouse just takes it on themselves and says, I'm going to go and get professional help.
I think that is permissible if I know I have a serious problem and I am bitter and I want to get better, that somebody could give me some help. But if it's for the marriage, I think we need to agree, like you're saying.
Yeah.
We need to have a joint agreement that we will go to see Dr. Kennedy,
Okay.
Dr. D.R. Kennedy. That's the one who we need to see. And if you disagree, then we drop it. But if it's for the marriage, then it should be a joint decision. I think that's what you're saying.
Yes.
But if, on the other hand, I know that I have some serious issues and I need to get some help for that so that I wouldn't stay bitter, I can get better. And when I get better, the marriage will
get better. Yes.
Okay.
I have a question. This is Pastor Richard White. I just came on. Thank you very much for the topic tonight. I do have a question on this topic, though. Can I ask?
Go right ahead. If we can't answer, the Kennedys can answer.
Okay, sure. So, say for instance, now the issue as you just mentioned exists, and one spouse say, you know what, forget it. I'm not going anywhere with you. I'm perfectly okay. You can go if you want, and I am not going. And that's the end of it. Just not going. What is your recommendation then?
That's exactly what we're saying. If there is an issue in the marriage and the marriage needs help, Doctors Kennedy, Pastor Cassimy, and Sister Cassimy cannot help one person in a marriage. We can help a person to help themselves in their growth and development. But if it's the marriage we're going to help, we will always need both.
And I'm saying to you, I am not going to any Kennedy. I'm not going to a White. I'm not going to a Brown. I'm not going to anybody. This is how we're going to live. And guess what? That's it. Don't bring up Dr. Kennedy name to me again. Okay? Because yes, I married you, but my mother and I, we're close, and you're not getting between that. What do I do now?
There's nothing you can do.
Okay, so you don't divorce the person, you just live with it, right?
I didn't say that. I didn't say anything
No, you
like
said
that.
there's nothing I can do. So what's the solution? Do I divorce or do I live with it?
No. I'm not giving you any.
By the
I'm
time
not-
you reach the next slide, I'm sure that you will be able to answer the question.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Looking forward.
yeah. But this is not a divorce court or anything. This is
No, brother.
No,
I
hold
don't
on,
take
hold
it
on, hold
that
on.
way.
Let's set the stage for this thing. This is not about divorce. We're talking about helping couples work together and take care of their needs right now. We're not giving you advice as to if two people can't. That's private. That's deeper than this. What we're doing.
Okay.
So let's just try and keep it. Let's just try and keep it on this level. If there are hold on. If there are personal issues that people have, we will deal with those personally. But I don't think this forum is to discuss about divorce. We're not talking about that. I strongly urge us not to get involved in that sort of stuff. All right. Let's go to slide number 3.
Number 3, they respect their relationships as being unique. Don't compare your relationship with anyone else. Other people's relationship may look very different on the inside. So what they see or even to pretend to be on the outside. So what you see on the outside may be completely different to what it is on the inside.
Mm-hmm. So we don't
compare your relationship with anyone else.
Right, because everybody's relationship is unique and different.
Not your parents, not your friends, or other members of your family.
Okay.
Keep in mind that there are no perfect couples and therefore no perfect marriages.
So are we saying that there are no perfect marriages at all?
No, I don't think that, because none of us are perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You are not perfect. We all have our flaws. We have you and I, we have a good marriage, but I don't think our marriages are perfect.
I agree. And there are you can only have a perfect marriage if you have two perfect people.
Yes, and neither of us are perfect.
And all the perfect people who are on the earth, Jesus took them up, they're translated into heaven. They're no longer down here with us.
That's right. We have a wonderful marriage, but it's not perfect.
Yes, and no one, we don't pretend in any way to have a perfect marriage. So we need to respect a relationship. Every couple has to respect their relationship as being unique.
That's right.
It's a unique relationship.
So that's why it's important not to compare your relationship with anyone else's. Working together in the tough times will make your relationship stronger.
In tough times, when the wind is blowing and when the rain is beating and the boat is rocking, we need to work together so that when the sun is shining and the skies are blue and the waves are riding nice and high, we can enjoy those times together.
Yes.
All right. Dr. Kennedy, there's a hand up again.
There's a hand up.
No, Doc, go ahead.
Go ahead a little bit and then.
Just a minute, folks. We had decided, if some of you came on, you didn't hear, Doc will stop and his wife, they will stop, and about 15 minutes before we finish, they will answer questions. So write the questions in the chat, and when they get to the questioning time, if you want to ask it, you do. If not, we will read the questions for you. But please allow them to go through now with their presentations. Thank you.
All right. Level number 4.
They are intimate about everything. Intimacy is what makes relationships last. It requires honest communication and openness about concerns, fears, and sadness, as well as hopes, dreams, and happiness.
So we could be intimate about other things other than in the bedroom?
Yes.
Oh, all right. I need to have a talk with somebody who's on the line here, because we were discussing that the other day. Intimacy is what makes relationships lasting. So we could be intimate about our fears and our sadness, and tell you exactly how I'm feeling deep down inside, and that's okay. All right, it's not only about intimacy. Is not only about sex.
No.
All right, because I see you have something. The last bullet here is
Sex is good. Sex is great, but that's the easy part.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Dr. Kennedy, you agree with that? That's Dr. Robert Kennedy.
Let me open my mic and say yes.
Affirmative.
Agreed.
All right. Okay. So couples need to be intimate about everything because they are one.
That's right.
They're one. It's one. God has made them one, so they need to share everything, and there need to be no secrets. So they need to be very intimate about everything.
Open.
I agree with that. All right. Number 5.
They accept each other without trying to change each other.
You know, when we first got married, I think we talked about this many times. The tendency for a young married couple is to change one another. Matter of fact, when we counsel some couples, they sometimes say, you know, when I get married, Pastor, there are some things I need to change about him. So already they have it in their minds that they're waiting till they get married. And after marriage, they're going to change. So there must be some things that they want to change. And I think we talked about that many times when we first got married, that I think I wanted to make you a little Steve and you wanted to make me a big Marilyn.
and it's funny, you know, and some of the things that attracted you to your spouse in the first place,
yes.
You get married and you try and change some of those things.
Right.
It's really amazing.
Right. Because I remember there was a couple, Dr. Kennedy, that I was counseling with not too long ago, and he said, Pastor, I need to get a divorce. And I said to him, why? He said, well, you know, she doesn't talk anymore. She doesn't talk anymore. And I want somebody to converse with. I found somebody to talk to. And I asked him, I said, since when she stopped talking? When you met her, was she talking? And then he had to think he had to think long and hard and realize that one of the things that attracted him to her is that she was a listener and he was the talker. So if he had married somebody who talked like him, they would have problems. But usually opposites attract. There's usually one who is very quiet. Like I am the quiet one in our marriage, and Marilyn is the one who is.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Dr. June Kennedy.
Yes, bro.
Yeah, but usually the opposites attract, and then somewhere in the marriage we seem to want to change, and there's some good things that you have on the screen there that you may want to share.
The deepest craving of human nature is the need to be appreciated.
Yeah, appreciated for who I am,
That's right.
not for who you want me to be. All right, for who God made me. God made me this way, and I thank God for the way He made me. And he didn't make junk. All right? Okay.
The foundation of love is to let those we care about be themselves.
Right.
And not distort them to fit our own ideas of who they should be.
Right.
Mm.
Instead of trying to change your spouse, give them your support and grow together.
That's deep. That's excellent. Don't try to change your spouse. Give them your support.
Yeah.
And so that you can both grow together.
Yeah.
And I like the little thing you have at the bottom there.
Yes.
Give me a chance.
And don't try to change me. Yeah.
Just allow me to be who I am. Give me a chance. God will bless me. God will use me because He made me. And if I use the gifts that He has given to me in the marriage to help the marriage, then just give me a chance.
But can you imagine how boring our marriage would be if we were both the same?
Yes, yes.
This is what makes marriage so interesting, because we're both different.
Mhm.
This makes it, you know, I mean, I could imagine me being like you, or you being like me. It would just be so boring.
Yeah. And
This makes it so interesting and so, you know,
yeah,
because we're so different.
and I think part of the problem is that we
complement.
don't, yes,
we
we don't,
complement
right,
each other,
and we
yeah.
don't, people don't celebrate differences. They see differences as something bad, other than saying, oh, you know, here are some beautiful differences. Let's put them and make a nice flower arrangement with them, because we are different.
Yeah.
But we try to take our differences to destroy what good can come out of it. Somebody was saying something, Dr. Kennedy?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Number 6.
They make uninterrupted time for each other. And it's so interesting. If you look at that picture, they're hugging each other, but look what each one of them they're doing. They're each looking at their cell phones.
And we see that all the time.
Yes.
We see couples.
It's so sad. This picture is very, very
Yeah,
sad.
see couples sitting down,
Yeah.
or having. We saw a couple the other day sitting down, eating outdoors, and they were eating. He had his cell phone. She had her cell phone.
Yeah.
They were eating. They were paying absolutely no attention to each other.
Yeah.
But this is the age. This is the age.
Quality. I always say to Steve, quality time is just so important.
Yes.
These days, yes. I always say to him, we have to spend quality time together. You know, these days, I think people need to put away their cell phones, put away their laptops, and just spend time together. Quality time is just so important.
There's so many pictures we have seen of families around the dinner table.
Yeah, everybody has their cell phones.
Yeah.
You know, you're sitting at the, and
they're texting one another at the table.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
If you neglect your relationship will neglect you too.
That's right.
And it's so true. With busy schedules, we often forget to relax and enjoy the great company that we have. In relationships, distance is not measured in miles, but in affection.
I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not in miles. You could be in the same house and be distant.
Oh, yes.
All right, because there's no affection, there's no love. So we're distant. One is at the table.
Yeah.
And we could be distant.
They're going to be in the same bed.
Right.
Lying in the same bed and be distant. Two people can be right next to each other and yet be miles apart.
It's true.
So don't ignore the one you love, because lack of concern often hurts more than angry words. That is very deep. That is very, very deep.
All right.
Yeah.
Next.
They say what they mean and mean what they say.
Yeah, sometimes couples, they try to sweep things under the rug, and they say things that they feel you want to hear. But I think that is not good. We need to say what we mean and mean what we say. And that doesn't mean to say we have to say it in anger, or we have to say it with wrath or anything. It's just that, matter of fact, it's so important for us to understand that we need to, and we talk about this all the time, we agree to disagree, but never be disagreeable. It's important. There are no couples who agree on everything. When two people agree on everything, then one is unnecessary. You don't need to get married. So we agree to disagree. Have to disagree. You and I disagree on a lot of things. We talk about it all the time. When we come to a dead end, we say, all right, we disagree on this. And we say, hey, that's all right. When further information comes on, we will bring it back on the table. Comes back on the table, we still disagree. And this is nothing that has to do with morality or ethics. We're just talking about situations, choices. So we say what we mean and mean what we say, but we have to do it in love. It's not always a fight and a quarrel and an argument. We don't have to do that. You don't do that with people that you love and care for. You don't do that with yourself, because my wife is part of me. And so we have to approach some of these things in a loving, caring, Christ-like relationship. It's not always barking and fighting. No. We have to put away some, we have to, and that's what we talked about at the beginning, having the fruit of the Spirit. And it's not fruits. It's not fruits at all. It's one fruit, but it's all of these sections of the fruit are in the one fruit. It's either you have the fruit or you don't. And there are a lot of us spouses who don't have the fruit. So when we come into the marriage, we come without the fruit, and everything is a fight and a quarrel because we don't have the joy and the peace of God in us. And we want to always be on the war path with our spouses. That brings up a lot of things. So again, I like number 7. They say what they mean and mean what they say. And if I had to add anything to that, in a loving, Christ-like spirit. All right.
And I could say here that communication is a two-way street. Make sure that you listen as much as you talk.
Yeah. I think, Dr. Kennedy, I think I heard your dad say this on several occasions. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Yes, sir.
So we listen twice as much as we speak. So 2 ears. And so if we practice that in our marriages, we will do well. Listen twice as much as you speak. The Bible says, slow to talk, quick to listen. Quick to listen. All right, number 8.
Number 8, they listen intently before they reply. Don't listen so you can reply. Listen to understand.
You know, there are a lot of people, when you're talking to them, you can tell that they're not listening to what you're saying, but they're hearing you, but they're trying to frame an answer. And so they miss a lot of words, and they miss a lot of feeling words that you're expressing, because they're listening to respond. They're not listening to learn. They're not listening with concern. They're just listening so that they could respond to you. And you can tell they're not listening. They did not listen by the way they responded. So don't listen so you can reply. Listen to understand. And we've got to do that with our spouses. We got to listen to them so we could understand where they're coming from, because they may be coming from a totally different place, a dark place sometimes. Sometimes they're coming from a wonderful place and we think it's dark, but we have to listen. And if we don't understand, we ask. Go ahead.
Open your ears and mind to your partner's concerns and opinions without judgment.
That's something else that we do. We judge each other. We judge each other instead of opening our ears and our minds to what their concerns are and empathize with them. And, and we're not talking about sympathizing here, sympathy, but empathize, get in their moccasins and get in their shoes so that you could understand where they're coming from, and then you could respond.
Look at things from your partner's perspective as well as your own.
Okay.
And then we have hearing and listening. Hearing is accidental, involuntary, and effortless. And then listening is focused listening, voluntary listening, and intentional listening.
Yeah, I several years ago when I was at the conference office, somebody called me and said to me, Pastor Cassimy, I need to come and see you right now. It's urgent. I said, no, we don't do things like that. Not today. I have meetings all day. And she said, no, I need to come and see you today, Pastor. Please, I'm coming on my lunchtime. So I readjusted my schedule, and she came up the stairs, Dr. Kennedy, to the office where I used to be sometimes. And, and when she came in, she sat down. I said to her, I have half an hour before my next meeting. And we're talking about hearing and listening now. And she spoke She asked me about the weather. She asked me about Maryland and the children. She asked me about all kinds of things. 20 minutes, I looked at the watch and she was still talking. So I stopped her. I said, my dear sister, you did not call me down here to come to see me, to talk to me about the weather and about my family and the conference, how the conference was doing. I said, there must be something else that you came here for. And then the tears started to flow. And then she burst out with the concern that she had. But I was listening, and I knew that she was not sharing what was on her heart. I was hearing what she was not saying. She didn't come down there, drove from the Bronx to come to Manhasset to tell me about the weather. So sometimes we have to listen. We have to listen to what people are not saying. It's like hearing people's tears, and in her voice, I heard the tears in her voice. So we have to listen intently before we reply. Dr. Kennedy.
Yes, sir.
Let's stop here. It's 20 after 8. Let's stop here 20 after 8. Let's see if we have a few questions or a few comments, and then I will allow you and Dr. June Kennedy to decide what we do from here on. But we want to stop at 8:30.
Well, we have the end of October.